And here we are in the top left-hand corner of the map. From the team Evil Geniuses. Lost that last game, won the first one. Now it's 1-1. We'll see if he can take it. He chose the map. It is ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN facing off against his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand corner, clad in the red. Had a superb victory in that last set. Guys, from Karante Esports, it is Vortix.
That's right. And Antigua Shipyard is the map, as we mentioned before. And this is... It used to be all about position in the middle of the map, when we had Zerg players that were going after, like, 5 bases, and could you retain this one? Could you keep control of the middle? Something along those lines. Well, actually, as Vortix is going to 10 pool. Just want to point that out. So a very early pool from Vortix. But nowadays, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more dynamic here. Terran players still like this map. They could still utilize some of the more creative strategies in getting around, dropping their opponent, making sure that they hit with Hellion attacks, and splitting their opponent's presence, because it is a little bit difficult to connect creep to some of the expansions down towards the bottom left, things like that.
This is really bad for ThorZaIN.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's nothing terrible, guys. It's not like you went command center first or anything. But he's not going to have a wall off.
Right.
By almost any means.
Oh, and these Zerglings are going to hit when one barracks is done and one isn't finished yet. So there's going to be plenty of Zerglings to deal with these Marines that pop out one at a time.
We'll see how many Vortix makes. The likely number is 6.
At first, but then probably 8 right afterwards.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reinforcement, we're going to find out. Of course, sometimes you want to transition quickly. You make a queen out of this.
That's true.
But here we are. Larva's getting ready to pop, and it's 8, Kevin.
That's right. And it looks like this drone...
He's so happy right now.
It actually got a kill, too. It killed an SEV, and he's actually pulling more workers off the line just to be able to deal with this. This drone can actually take a couple of hits now, and this is just being so annoying as the Zerglings are already moving across the map.
Well, one Marine getting ready to pop out. We'll see if it gets itself out of position. Of course, the closer the Marine stays to the barracks at this point, the better position ThorZaIN's going to be in, because he'll be close to his reinforcements, closer to his SCVs. The reality is that this Marine is very far out right now, and it is going to get caught. It's going to get killed before maybe even doing a single damage to the to any of these Zerglings. Yes, in fact, ThorZaIN doesn't get off a single shot.
And now he's got a while before any more Marines actually pop up. He's already preemptively pulled a lot of workers, of course. And this is just lost mining time. This is 10 workers. That's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. He does have 2 Marines here, yes, but these Zerglings can actually start charging headlong into these. Very nice hold position, Micro.
That was.
So that the Zerglings changed their priority and started tearing after Marines, but couldn't go anywhere.
And then he A-clicked them.
Yes.
So once the Zerglings were about to reach the Marines, then he A-clicked them so that they turned around and attacked the SCVs, and then he held position again. That was awesome.
That was really clever. Well done. Well done, ThorZaIN. Still kind of an interesting position, because it's not like this 2-Rex is going to net him anything in terms of pressure, because he knows his opponent already has Zerglings on the map. He's got pretty good map dominance, and Vortix can actually pull back, just hold his own like a tower, and maybe a Zergling off to the left and one off to the right, just to make sure there's not a big like Marine attack around the side. And Vortix would be able to just put out a lot of units if he wants to.
Yeah, he definitely would. So Vortix... currently it's 17 workers. Of course, going to be a little bit down on the economy, but as we're talking about, lots of this is lost mining time for ThorZaIN. And the fact that he's had these SCVs down here for so long.
Oh, that is the perfect scouts! That's Zergling!
Did he really?
He just saw all 6 of those SCVs pulled across the map, and he's making 14 lings.
How much of a head start he got on the Zerglings because of that. In fact, if he had seen that 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds later when they hit the Zelnaga Tower, those would have been drones. But, all right, ThorZaIN going to turn around with the SCVs, but the Marines are going to keep pushing. They're going to meet a lot of Zerglings here in a second, Kevin.
And the thing is that if Vortix cleans this up pretty cost-efficiently, it looks like ThorZaIN actually going to hide these. Now, of course, Vortix very soon is not going to see anything, and he's going to realize that he turned around to a degree. But he
should be realizing.
Yeah, he could actually counterattack with these Zerglings now and try and do some damage.
I mean, he needs to. You can't just sit here. The longer he sits here, the better chance ThorZaIN's going to have a complete wall-off by the time he arrives on the opposite side of the map. If there's a complete wall-off for ThorZaIN, the Zerglings are going to be utterly useless. Vortix will have just wasted a lot of larvae that could have otherwise had been drones.
Another 400 minerals for ThorZaIN, and I think he's going to double command center. He is. So this is a huge economic investment on his part.
All right, so Vortix is sending a small squadron of Marines around the side, realizing that ThorZaIN is holding the middle because there's no reason to send the Marines all the way home, but actually there is because Vortix is circling around the side with a nice group of Zerglings here. I wish he had taken a few more, but he's going to be safe enough at home, I think, with these Spine Crawlers that he shouldn't take too much damage from this counter.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to shut down the construction of 2 command centers likely here. Marines are pulling back at the moment, and ThorZaIN's just going to chug on ahead. There's already 2 Queens, a Spine Crawler in position. One Spine Crawler is going to get outright killed, not canceled. But 1 Marine's already fallen. More are getting very, very low. And ThorZaIN actually can't continue to assault that position. All the while, Zerglings are disrupting pretty much everything back at home.
Well, it looks like ThorZaIN did a mediocre job of cleaning this up, though, because there were a lot of Zerglings, and he only had 2 Marines to work with.
Yeah.
So it looks like Vortix, you know, of course, having to be taxed on both the aggressive and the defensive fronts, may have made some micro mistakes where ThorZaIN made some right ones, and the Zerglings seem to have been cleaned up very efficiently. Can we actually see resources and workers lost on these guys? And it looks like 6 workers killed for Vortix so far. I don't think he didn't get any earlier on.
No, but
so it must have been 6 here.
Yes, and well, let me think about that for a second, actually. I know he killed at least the scout that was up at the very beginning, and I guess with the first push that he made, but I'm trying to think if there was any moment when Vortix pulled any workers off the... Oh, no, those were the SCVs that he killed, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
He didn't kill... Yeah, okay.
They must have been the ones right there, yeah.
So Vortix going to capture this Marine out in the middle of the map from ThorZaIN. Baneling Nest actually going down for Vortix.
God, and a lot of Zerglings. I think he's going to try. He has outs here, and he's obviously not committing to this as an all-in.
Yeah, double Evo.
But this is a lot of Zerglings, and he is going to push out with a lot of units. They just keep coming. Actually, this is going to be a massive Baneling bust.
So Vortix, yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense because Vortix is getting speed before the 20-minute mark here. So,
yeah.
No, just all seriousness, guys, this is going to be a big attack coming out of Vortix right now.
You don't usually go for the 30-minute Broodlord Speedling timing attack?
No,
Researching speed just as it finishes up?
Well, it's just not my playstyle, as we were talking about earlier. Different playstyles for different styles of play, you know?
Oh, my God.
And Vortix's playstyle is 16 Banelings.
Yeah, that's a lot of Banelings.
For free.
I feel
extra. You know, you get extra shampoo in the bottle.
I feel like the guy from Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That's a lot of Banelings! All right, here comes... oh, God. All right, does ThorZaIN have what it takes to hold this? There's still an opening in the wall, so it's not like he has to crash through the barracks necessarily. Oh, he gets the forces to clump up a little bit, though, and ThorZaIN has to resplit them, but Vortix has already gotten position, so it's not the position that he would have rather been in. This is so many Banelings! Actually hitting everything at the moment. ThorZaIN's going to be forced to split up these SCVs, and he just doesn't have enough to hold everything up at the front. He's lost almost all of his Marines. He's only down to 4, now 2 Marines. And ladies and gentlemen, I think he has what it takes to hold the rest of this.
It does look like it. Vortix is going to force the GG out of ThorZaIN. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our Game 3 victor, and it is Vortix by a decisive margin.
Yeah, I mean, really nice job on his part to follow up. You know, he early pools, so he's able to delay the pressure. He always had enough map presence, and it's pure map presence that held that big follow-up from ThorZaIN. If he hadn't caught those SCVs coming up, well, then ThorZaIN would just send him across the map, built a couple of bunkers, and tried to put on pressure and contain his opponent. But Vortix picked up on it so quickly because of his diligent scout that ran around the side.
Yeah.
So, great job.
It really was. Guys, we'll be moving into Game 4 momentarily. It looks like the map
Entombed Valley.
Loading. It's Entombed Valley, though. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Game 4 coming up next.